Hello, it's Rapid Regeneration. I'm David Escamilla. I'm not a doctor, I'm not a medical professional. I'm not making any claims about diseases or medical claims. I am just somebody who's educated, self-taught, formally educated in the natural healing arts and how to heal the body naturally with natural methods, and how to do that so that I could do that for myself after I suffered from horrible health problems. And now I'm on a mission to help you do that, to pay that forwards. That's been assigned to me as my mission. So that's what I'm doing. And in order to figure out how to solve your problems or to use natural self-healing, you have to figure out what is the problem specifically in the body, what's going on, and how to identify that. So there's a lot of different ways that you can do that. You can get blood testing, you can get urine testing, you can get hair sampling, you can get genetic testing. There's different things that you can do. There's also more invasive procedures that are out there. You have professionals out there who want to take a chunk of your tissue out, or do things like that. So you have varying levels of invasiveness. Well, personally, I will consider anything. But I would really prefer something that's non-invasive. Even taking out blood to me is a little bit of an insult to the body because you're stabbing yourself. But in this case, this segment is about iridology. Now, iridology is, to me personally, I find it amazing and fascinating, and it resonates with me. Now, there's people out there who say, well, it's not a real science, iridology. These are maybe the same people that might say, acupuncture is not a real science, or chiropractic is not a real science. However, the people that practice those, they're getting results. Because there are meridians that go through the body. And basically, these are energy spirals. They travel through the body in a certain pathway, according to this school of thought. And this is sort of the reflexology school of thought, and it deals with acupuncture, with chiropractic. But it says that the body is all connected and that there's a specific pathway for different parts of the body. That's where iridology draws from as well. So, does it work? It's worked for me. Okay, that's all I can say. And all I can say is, consider giving it a try yourself, having an open mind, and seeing if it works for you too. Now, I'm not sitting here claiming that I can find the logical treatise to quantify iridology in the same way that you could do a pH test, or that you could do a double-blind test and stuff like that. So it's part science and part art. Iridology is. Not everybody likes it. Some people dismiss it and they say, well, it's too out there. But personally, it's been really eye-opening for me, and I like it. It works for me, and check it out for yourself. Basically, because I judge a tree by its fruits, and if something gets me results, then I'm going to give credit where credit's due. So basically, iridology originated in Europe. It was actually studied for many centuries, but modern iridology originates in Europe when basically people started mapping out the eyes. Somebody noticed that his eye color changed after an incident, and was mapping that out. If I recall correctly, he was also studying animals and what happens when animals underwent certain, like had an injury, and that the eye would actually change. And basically, it was then refined in the 20th century by Dr. Bernard Jensen and some of his group and people that kind of preceded him. That's kind of the standard map of the eyes that you see typically used with iridology, is Jensen's kind of map that's been updated a little bit and revised. So now this segment is not going to be about how to read that map, although I do have some experience doing that, but I'm not going to go through and say, well, here's the inner circle, here's the outer circle, here's the lines going at the top, here's the lines going off this way, and here's the liver, and here's the pancreas, here's the skin ring, here is the large intestine wrapping around, here is the gonadals, and then here's the leg, and here's the foot, and here's the nervous system, and you know, that's what that map is all about. Now, I will encourage you to check it out for yourself. Maybe I'll do another segment about that some other time, but for now I'm just talking about it at a high level. You can find that chart of the eye, the map of the eyes, at rapidregeneration.com/eye chart. So basically the theory of this goes that you have a meridian that's going through the body. Well, it travels through the eye as well. In the eye, basically every other part of the body will have a nerve energy meridian that goes throughout the whole body, and it will also go through the eye. And so what happens is when you get a picture of your eyes, close up, zoomed in, and with the right lighting, it's amazing. You can see that your eyes are like these strands of fibers that are held together. It looks like a spool of yarn that's spun together, and these fibers that are going around, and there are these different sections. And so what you need to do is get a cell phone, zoom it in some, keep the flash on, and take a photograph. You can actually do this yourself, but you'll be amazed at maybe what you never noticed before in your own eyes, and maybe take some photos of those close to you as well, and you'll probably be amazed at what you find with them too. And you know, it is very personal in a way, but basically there's areas with these strands where you'll find that either they're very straight, or in some cases they're broken off, they're tangled, they're split, they're wavy, or they're brittle. There can also be sort of rings that are going through it. The strands go long ways like on a spool, but there's also a corresponding pattern that goes around in a circle. That's like the hub of a wheel. So this is just amazing. I mean, when you look up and close at a picture of the eyes, amazing the way that it looks, and so beautiful how nature is interwoven together. Now also, the strands are in a backdrop of material. This is considered in iridology is the body's environment, or the lymphatic system. Basically, it's the background that the strands are in. And if somebody, let's say, is very clean and they're filtered out, this should be a clean background, almost like a clear sky or a clear water. But if someone's very lymphatically stagnated and backed up, then you can see like a cloudiness. It's like buildup and debris, and it gets all clogged up, and this can represent stagnation of the lymphatic system. So these are some of the tenets of iridology. There's also And I'm telling you, if you ever get a chance to see a photo of your own eye, it's amazing, because you can't really tell when you look at someone's eyes without a photo, although you can kind of, but you just can't get the level of detail. But I will say, after you learn this information, you will, I mean, personally, I look at eyes totally differently since learning this information. There's also important to note, there's a distinct difference between reading a blue eye versus reading a brown eye. And now this may be surprising to you. Naturally speaking, in iridology, and in truth, I believe, is there's only two main eye colors, which is blue and brown. So a blue eye is very straightforward to understand, because there's only really one type of blue eye. Although you can have blue eye with a little bit of white in it and so forth, but that's really just a blue eye. That's kind of tainted. There are different types of brown eyes and some colors in between, which now you might understand with some more nuance. So you have a true brown eye, which really starts off like a teddy bear brown, almost like a light tan. And it can become darker over time, or perhaps it can become a little bit more yellow. You get due to some congestion. Okay, so that's like a true brown eye. Okay, then you have a green eye. A green eye is actually a blue eye with lymphatic stagnation. So just like you can have a blue eye that's kind of like cloudy and becomes kind of like a little bit gray and white, this is lymphatic material in iridology that's getting stagnated. And so the blue eye becomes less blue and becomes more white and more white. Well, that lymphatic stagnation can, over time, become yellow. So what happens, you remember back in kindergarten when you mixed primary colors? What happens when you mix blue and yellow? You get green. So a green eye, if you look closely and you take a photo of it, you'll see that it's actually a blue eye with lymphatic stagnation that's turned yellow, and the yellow ends up turning the coloration green. So it's a blue eye with yellow in it that turns green. Then you have hazel eyes, which are sort of brown looking. But now this is distinct from a brown eye. This is actually a blue eye with an internal environment that has gone from blue to white to yellow to green to brown. And again, what happens in kindergarten when you mix so many different colors together? It creates brown. So this is sort of someone with supposedly very clear looking eyes, but you could still have a lot of problems. Like I knew someone, a woman, she had blue eyes and they were so just sparkling clear. Okay, but she was having all number of health problems. And basically, when I took photos of her eyes, I could see that, looking closer, there was these little patterns on the outer rings and dissonant breakups and all this apparent tension that was going on. And indeed, she was very unhappy, dehydrated, lacking in energy. So it is a little bit nuanced. Eyes are not always what they seem. It is individualized, and you can become more and more versed at reading eyes on a close-up level. And again, this goes back to iridology is part science and part art. There's also little splotches of discoloration that can happen sprinkled through the eyes. Okay, I have this. Many people have it. You get these little dark spots or brown spots. Now this can represent a problem. It could represent chemical residue. Could be sulfur, pharmaceutical deposits. Could even be fungus or some kind of outside organism. And indeed, this is what one of the first people that was studying iridology found. I believe it was a gentleman in Europe that got poisoned and noticed these things showing up in his eyes. But you have this going on as well. Now, personally, my personal story with iridology, I noticed, I'm going to get close to the camera now so you can see, but I noticed that my eyes changed over time. So, first of all, if you look at my eyes when I was a baby, they were pure clear blue and more light blue. Now, by the time I was a teenager, they had darkened quite a bit, a lot more cloudy, and ultimately gave off kind of a greenish, dark blue. All right, now the first time I really got photos of close-up photos of my eyes was in 2015. Now I was just starting my detox journey, and I had been sick for like 4 years before that, really sick. And I took photos of my eyes, which I could still see now, and they appeared extremely cloudy, mostly green, with a bunch of congestion, brown spots, and all the fibers were all tangled up and clumped together. And the next time I really got photos of my eyes was in late 2022. So this was about 7 years later. And it's very apparent that much of the cloudiness is gone, with the blueness of the eyes really showing through and the green color fading out. The strands of the eyes are much straighter. Many of the entanglements have been straightened out, and many of the brown spots have lightened up and faded. So that's what happened with my eyes. You know what? I need to post those somewhere so you can actually see what I'm talking about. So follow me on Instagram or Facebook at Rapid Regeneration, and I'll post that so you can check that out. Now that's what amazes me about this, is that my eyes really did change a lot. And, I attribute that to the power of natural health techniques, eating healthy, supplements, and doing all these things. So, now again, some people are skeptical of this and they say, well, it's just a pseudoscience. I can't discount the changes I've seen in my own eyes. I've also seen this happen in other individuals as well. And here's the other thing is, when I started looking at my eyes, I noticed, wow, that area where it looks like there's a problem, that's the exact area that I already know that I'm having a problem. In other words, if it's saying left shoulder, there's all this congestion going on and entanglement. I'm like, yeah, I know my left shoulder is my problem area already. So that's the thing, it's too uncanny, the findings from Iridology for me. It's so spot on that, yeah, maybe it's a pseudoscience, okay, maybe it's not real, but it's a giant coincidence for me that it's reading me like a book. So, that's why I like it. Don't just take my opinion on it. Read your own eyes. First of all, you don't have to pay someone to read them unless you want to. Now, I did eventually get my eyes read by a professional, and yeah, it was quite amazing. It is like a nugget of gold, telling you exactly where to target. Lymphatic stagnation, genetics being compromised, blockages, which supplements to take, which activities to do, therapies, foods, to fit the unique challenges of your body. Like for me, I found out, my big weakness is parathyroid, skeletal system, and connective tissue. Now, I didn't really realize that before I got a professional reading, although it was obvious when I was told this information, because it was obvious that those things are weaknesses that I needed to work on. It's just that it was a blind spot for me. And also, this person was better at reading the iris than I was in my own readings, even though I've gotten better over the years. But so it can help to get a professional reading, but it costs money and so forth. Yes, a lot of people have problems in the stomach, the GI tract. Sometimes there's a lot of stuff going on in the skin, the neck, the head, sinus areas. Other times it's the liver. Other times it's the genital area. Other times, everybody's different. And yes, I understand it's not as scientific, but it is a tool in the tool belt. If you want to get a real proper reading done by a professional, you can see what I would recommend for that in terms of where to go. If you just go to rapidregeneration.com/iridology, but don't start there. Learn for yourself. Become self-empowered with this tool, and go to rapidregeneration.com/iChart to look at a map of the eyes, and also take a picture of your own eyes, take a picture of your significant other's eyes, and give it a reading. So yeah, that's it. Quite amazing. And people have even told me that my eyes look different. It's just amazing, but it makes sense. If you change your body, it's going to come off different to the rest of the world, and that just makes total sense. So the fact that this level of intricacy is there, according to Iridology, is kind of amazing. So again, I'm not claiming that I can prove such and such thing, but it's an amazing tool. I love it. Try it for yourself. Check it out for yourself and see if it resonates with you. If you have any questions, if there's anything that I can help with, let me know. That's my honor is to help you. So anything I can do to help, please let me know. Keep going through these segments and learning these amazing tools to get yourself healthy and well. The website is rapidregeneration.com. That's all for now. See you on the next segment.
For more information, please follow @Rapid Regeneration or visit rapidregeneration.com.